Hey guys, welcome to our Body Electric weekly webinar. This is actually take 2 for me. I had a Zoom crap out, so hopefully this one is just as good as the first one. I wanted to thank you for tuning into this pre-recorded. I'm actually going to be attending a Melanie Mitro Top Coach training event on Wednesday night, so I thank you for letting me do this pre-recorded. Hopefully you're willing to take some time out to listen to my advice and share this with your teams. So I want to really talk tonight a little bit about the launch of Core to Force. And I want to really kind of drill home and drive home sort of the principles of what we do as coaches and how you can kind of tie the two together. So first things first, the weekly announcements are obviously up on our website. I don't want to take a whole lot of time going over them because they're super easy to find. So you can just log into the password protected zone of our website and check out the weekly announcements if you need to. But you'll probably notice in the weekly announcements, there is no November calendar. And that's for good reason, because we are running our team-led challenge groups on the My Challenge Tracker app, and that's just going to be an ongoing thing. But I'm actually here to encourage you tonight to start considering running your own individually led challenge groups, right? Starting with Core to Force this month. So I did a live stream in the team page this week, so if you haven't checked that out, make sure you do that. I talk a little bit about how to get behind the launch, things that you can do to really plant seeds with people about the program. And let me just take a moment here to say that just because you don't have somebody who purchased today doesn't mean you're not rocking the launch month. You should be talking about Core to Force for the entire month of November, because sometimes, you know, mid-month, later in the month, etc., that's when people really want to hop on board and join your group. So let's take a moment to really think about where we are in the year, right? We have like 62 days left in the entire, 61 days left in the entire year. And people are starting to think about the holidays. They're starting to think about maybe that holiday weight gain, or in some cases, they're even interested in keeping that weight gain from happening. They're looking to maintain, right? To be honest with you, I have had the most amazing challenge groups in the month of November. A lot of my most successful challenge groups happened in November, like over Thanksgiving, because people are looking for that extra accountability. They're looking for the relationship with a coach. They're looking for a program that works. And if nothing else, they're looking to maintain so that they don't gain during the holidays. So I want you to just know that, because when you're crafting your invitations and your posts for Core to Force and the challenge group, you know, at the end of the day, that's who you're talking to. You're talking to people who have that mindset and that frame of mind. So what I wanted to focus on tonight was kind of just what challenge groups are intended to be and what we're intended to be truly as coaches. When I started this business 6 years ago, we didn't have challenge groups. We didn't even have challenge packs. But the benchmarks of the business, so Success Club, was still based on getting people on Shakeology and a fitness program. So at that time, P90X and Insanity were like the 2 programs that people knew of. And so you would get questions about one or the other, but you wouldn't get questions about Shakeology. And you most definitely wouldn't get questions about how you could help people, right? So it wasn't until challenge groups were introduced that people started to understand the accountability piece of what we do as coaches. So yeah, the truth is 6 years ago, people were buying a total of $250 worth of product if they wanted to work with you. So it goes without saying that it was really slim to none chance that you were going to have a full blooming challenge group, right? Like it was just very hard to find people interested in spending $250. So the fact that we now have challenge packs that discount the price, that get people the nutrition piece with Shakeology and the fitness, and that enrolls them in a challenge group where we can help coach them is huge. It's absolutely huge. And so I wanted to just share that with you because I want you to have that perspective of kind of how far we've come, and ultimately that at the end of the day, our job description as coaches is to help people successfully accomplish a program, successfully get through 21, 30, 60, or 90 days of a program with Shakeology and with their fitness, okay? So that's first things first. So I have 3 overarching tips for you tonight. And actually I spoke with Shauna Potts today. She's one of our Diamond coaches. And she's actually leading next week's webinar where she plans to cover details about how to rock a challenge group. So I won't go into too much detail with rocking a challenge group, but I just want to kind of give you the foundation of why we're looking in this direction. Okay, so like I said, the job description of a coach is to really help people get results. At the end of the day, we're here to help people get results. And so that's why launch months are so huge, because we can get some energy created and some momentum created behind the launches of these programs. So the first thing that I want you guys to take home or take away is that we have to provide exceptional value in our challenge groups. So I want to tell you this story that I heard today from Joe Cardone. He's my corporate rep, I guess, with Beachbody. And so I was talking to him about challenge groups, and he told me this story. And so I want to relay it to you. Hopefully I do it justice. So he was in Louisville, Kentucky this weekend at Super Saturday, and he did this whole demonstration that I'm about to tell you from the stage. He stood up on the stage. He had a little 8-ounce jar of orange juice, and he said to the crowd, hundreds of people, he said, I have this 8-ounce jar of all natural orange juice. And this particular juice is amazing, right? It helps you feel better. It helps you have more energy. In some cases, it helps people lose weight. There's more mental focus. Their regularity is better, right? And he's like, is anybody here interested in having those types of results? Would any of you drink this if you knew that you were going to get those types of results? And of course, everybody's hands went up, right? So he chose someone out of the crowd, and he brought her up on stage, and he held the orange juice in front of her, and he said, I hear that you're interested in drinking this orange juice in order to see XYZ results, right? And he goes through the same benefits that he did before. And she's like, yeah, absolutely. And he's like, so you're telling me that you would drink this 8-ounce glass of orange juice if you knew that you were going to feel better, have more energy, be more regular, and have more focus? She said, yes. And he goes, once you say yes to me, so you'll drink this orange juice right now in front of these hundreds of people? And she's like, yeah. And he's like, once you say yes, you can't go back. She says, yes, I will. I commit to it. I will drink it. So he goes back behind stage. He comes back out, and he takes the orange juice. He caps it off, and he pours it into an old, nasty, run-down shoe, right? Smelly old shoe. He pours the orange juice in there, and he hands her the shoe. And he goes, here you go. Drink it. Right? So you can imagine the crowd went crazy, and she's like, I'm not drinking this. Why do I tell you this story, and how can we equate it to challenge groups? Every coach in this network has the same exact products to offer. We all have Shakeology. We all have Hammer and Chisel. We all have Core to Force, right? We all have the same programs. What makes a challenge group special is the experience that we give our challengers in the group. Whether we serve the value in a glass jar as expected, or if we serve to them in an old nasty shoe, right? So the delivery of what we have to offer is where the magic does or doesn't happen. So when we're just putting people into a challenge group and assuming that other coaches will take the responsibility and lead it, or when we're just putting them into a Facebook group and we're hoping that they're the self-motivated type and that they'll press play every day and make things happen, that's not giving the value. That's like serving them Shakeology out of a shoe. Okay, so I love that analogy, and I think that does my first point justice of providing exceptional value. The second point I have is to build relationships 24/7, right? So you've heard me say before that the relationship begins with a challenge pack sale. It does not end there. Just because someone's purchased from you and you get those Success Club points does not mean check, move on. Right? It means that the relationship is now beginning. This person has officially invested in you as their coach. They're now looking to you for that value. So building relationships is important. For me personally, I plan to not only offer great value, videos, recipes, checking in every day with my challenge group as a whole, I also plan to send private messages to my challengers in November and December to make sure that they're staying on track with their goals, their individual goals. Okay, so number 2, continue building relationships. The relationship begins with a challenge pack sale. The third and final point is this. This is how you become better at being a coach. If the job description of being a coach is helping people get results, and if we help people get results by leading awesome challenge groups, then doing this, even if you're a new coach and this is the first time you're doing it, doing this is what's going to help you become better. The first challenge group that I ever did run was before challenge groups were even a thing. I just decided to offer accountability to these 3 women who decided to go for it with me with Slim and Six and Shakeology. It was a lady from my church group. It was a friend of hers that she worked with, and then it was another neighbor of mine. Okay, so the 3 of them decided that they were going to do Slim and Six and drink Shakeology. So they invested the $200 to be, to have my private coaching. And so what we did then, there was no Zoom, there was no My Challenge tracker, there was no, we had 2 flavors of Shakeology, chocolate and greenberry. And all we could really do, I had to be creative. I had to figure it out, right? I had to figure out how to be successful with this. I had to figure out how to bring exceptional value. I had to figure out how to get these ladies results because they invested in me. And so what I did was Skype. I set up a Skype account. I think I paid $9.99 for it. And we had weekly Skype calls where I talked to them about their goals. I talked to them about their struggles, and I took it very personally. I worked with those 3 individual women. So yes, my business has evolved a lot in 6.5 years, a lot. We can't lose track of what we're really here for at the end of the day. We're here to take care of people in our challenge group. So I encourage you, if you're brand new to this business, you've never run a challenge group before, maybe you've relied on our team-led groups in the past, this is why we have no November calendar in our weekly announcements, because this month I want you to run your own challenge group for Core de Force. I want you to do it because the truth is you can figure it out. You can figure out how to bring the value in only the way that you can. So my 3 points are, number 1, by getting people results, we have to offer exceptional value. Number 2, we have to continue building relationships. The relationships begin with a challenge pack sale. And then 3rd, but definitely not least, is this is how you become better. And this is how you become a better leader and a better coach at the end of the day. Okay, so my last few points, and these are just very technical details. Like I said, I'm going to leave the specifics to Shauna as far as how to rock a challenge group. But I want to make sure that I set some of you new coaches up with knowing how to do this, because I know sometimes it can be confusing. So when you create a challenge group, the first thing you got to do is you got to create a start date. You got to know when people are starting with their day 1. And their day 1 is most likely going to be sometime in November if they're doing Core de Force. I encourage you to choose a November start date, whether it's the 14th or maybe it's like the week after Thanksgiving, right? Those are probably the 2 best times in my opinion. Number 2, take photos and videos of yourself doing Core de Force, right? Take those fighter photos, use a photo editor if you need to, take some video clips of you doing the workout and share that on social media. Show that you're proof the products work, show that you're excited about the program, and ask people to join you. Number 3, you got to invite and follow up. If you're not following up with people and you're not having private conversations, you're just throwing spaghetti to the wall to see what sticks. You've got to be talking to people and building those relationships. Number 4, consider sending an email blast or a newsletter. I talk about the specifics of this in my live stream in the team page, so if you need more details on that, feel free to check it out. And then number 5, schedule time to plan the value that you're going to bring. This is where I dropped the ball forever. I did really good with setting a start date. I did really good with getting people on board, advertising my challenge groups, getting people invested. I did really good with all of that, but then I dropped the ball when it came to continuing the relationship. And when it came to planning the value, when it came to creating videos for my challenge group, because I knew it would give them value. So I'm getting back to that. I'm getting back to basics this month, and I encourage you guys to join me. Run your own Core de Force challenge group, or if you'd rather do 21 Day Fix or Country Heat, go for it. But I'm telling you that this particular program is going to help serve a lot of people. It's going to serve a lot of people. And, anybody, even people with former injuries can do this program and see great results. As you guys probably heard at Super Saturday from, at least in Indiana, we heard from some people who had some prior injuries who really saw great results with Core de Force. So what I'm doing is I'm leading my own personal private Core de Force challenge group. And so if you're watching this webinar, hopefully you're willing to run your own and run with this whole idea, this whole concept. If you're interested in shadowing me to see how I rock a challenge group, I encourage you to send me an email and I will add you to the group. The only requirement that I have is, number 1, that you have purchased Core de Force yourself and that you're active on Shakeology, and that you have sold a Core de Force challenge pack to a customer if you want that customer to participate in the group as well. So for example, if for some reason you say, I want to lead my own, but I only have me and this one other girl doing it, let me shadow you. Come into my group this month, I'll show you how to do it, and then you can rock one in December. If you have lots of people or you have a couple people and you want to roll with this thing, I highly encourage you to do it. But at the end of the day, I want you guys to start embracing the fact that this is what we do as coaches. Body Electric has been known for team-led groups. which is awesome. And we can continue doing those on the My Challenge Tracker, you know, especially if you have people who just kind of purchase a one-off program type thing. But I want you guys to become better coaches. And the only way truly that you can do that is by leading exceptional challenge groups. So that's our focus for the end of 2016. I know it's going to launch you into a successful 2017 and beyond. I hope you'll take this challenge and I hope you run with it. Thank you guys so much for letting me do this pre-recorded. I will take tons of notes at the Melanie Mitro event and I will share that with you as well. But again, thank you guys. Let's rock the launch of Core to Force. Check out my live stream in the team page from this week if you haven't already. Check the weekly announcements and then get to planning. Plan your challenge group. We'll talk to you soon, guys. Bye-bye.